Welcome back to Dr. Scary Tales. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more spine-chilling stories. Tonight, we're venturing into the world's most cursed and forbidden places. These are not just tales of the supernatural. They are accounts from my own eerie experiences and encounters with the unknown. Buckle up and prepare for a journey into the cursed ruins, exploring forbidden places across the globe. Let's begin. Our journey begins at Houska Castle, often referred to as the Gateway to Hell. Nestled deep in the forests of the Czech Republic, this castle's very design defies conventional logic. Built in the late 13th century, it was erected over a large, ominous hole in the ground, which locals believed to be a portal to the underworld. When I arrived at Houska in the summer of 2019, the weather matched the castle's reputation. The skies were overcast, and a chill wind swept through the trees, adding to the castle's forbidding aura. As I walked through the castle's massive wooden doors, an oppressive silence greeted me, a silence that seemed almost alive. The castle's corridors are labyrinthine, with walls adorned in faded frescoes that seemed to writhe and change in the flickering light of my torch. The deeper I ventured, the more the air grew cold, and a palpable sense of dread settled over me. The atmosphere was thick, as if the very stones of the castle were absorbing the fear and despair of those who had come before me. Reaching the Hell's Pit, I felt a shiver down my spine. The darkness within seemed endless, a void that swallowed any light. As I leaned closer, the temperature around me plummeted, and a faint, unsettling whispering began to fill the air. It was as though the walls themselves were trying to communicate something horrific. My flashlight began to flicker uncontrollably, casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. The whispers grew louder, an incoherent, frenzied murmur that seemed to claw at my sanity. It was as if unseen entities were trying to claw their way out from the pit. Leaving Houska Castle, the feeling of being followed lingered. The malevolent energy seemed to cling to me, a constant reminder of the darkness that resides within those ancient walls. Next on our journey is Kayakoy, a ghost town abandoned since the 1920s. This once thriving village was left desolate after a population exchange, and today it stands as a poignant monument to loss and abandonment. As I wandered through Kayakoy's deserted streets, the silence was almost deafening. The homes, once full of life, now stood empty and forlorn, overgrown with weeds and vines. The feeling of being alone in a place where life had once flourished was unsettling. The centerpiece of the village is the old church. As I entered, a profound sense of sorrow enveloped me. The temperature dropped dramatically and the air felt thick with an unspoken grief. The once sacred space now seemed like a mausoleum, holding the echoes of its former congregants. Strange occurrences began to unfold. I heard faint, disembodied laughter and the sound of footsteps echoing through the empty hall. Objects seemed to move on their own, as if touched by invisible hands. The feeling of being watched by unseen eyes was almost unbearable. Kayakoy left me with a lingering sense of melancholy. The village's silence was haunted by the spirits of its past inhabitants, their presence a constant reminder of the lives that once were. Our exploration now takes us to Kuelap, a massive fortress hidden in the mountains of Peru. Often overshadowed by Machu Picchu, Kuelap remains a place of mystery and intrigue, with its own share of supernatural legends. The trek to Kuelap was arduous. The dense jungle and treacherous paths made the journey challenging, and the sense of isolation grew stronger with every step. As I emerged from the forest and saw the ruins before me, an eerie silence greeted me, broken only by the occasional call of a distant bird. Kuelap's towering walls and intricate carvings held a strange allure. The mist that enveloped the ruins seemed to swirl with a life of its own. The deeper I ventured into the site, the more I felt an intangible presence, The very stones seemed to hum with ancient energy. As night fell, I heard rhythmic drumming from the distance, a sound that seemed to resonate from the depths of the earth. Shadows moved in the periphery of my vision, and the feeling of being watched intensified. The ancient spirits of Kuelap seemed to be performing a ritual long forgotten by time. Kuelap was both awe-inspiring and unsettling. The fortress's ancient mysteries seemed to reach out from the past, leaving me with a profound sense of both wonder and unease. Part 4. The Cursed Battlefield of Gettysburg, USA. Our journey now takes us to Gettysburg, a battlefield that witnessed some of the most intense and tragic fighting of the American Civil War. Known for its rich history and haunting tales, Gettysburg is a place where the past seems to bleed into the present. Walking through the battlefield, I felt the weight of history pressing down on me. The mist that hung over the land seemed to carry the echoes of cannon fire and the cries of soldiers. The silence was occasionally interrupted by the distant sounds of battle, adding to the eerie atmosphere. Among the memorials and monuments, I visited known haunted sites like Little Round Top and Devil's Den. At Devil's Den, the air was thick with an overwhelming sense of despair. The stones and boulders seemed to absorb the pain of those who had fallen there. During my visit, I encountered sudden, inexplicable cold spots, and the ghostly voices of soldiers seemed to whisper through the night. The feeling of being surrounded by the spirits of those who perished in the battle was intense and chilling. Gettysburg is a place where history and the supernatural intertwine. The spirits of the battlefield seem to remain, their presence a haunting reminder of the conflict that once raged on this land. Part 5. The Ancient Ruins of Tikal, Guatemala. Next, we journey to the ancient ruins of Tikal in Guatemala. Once a thriving center of the Mayan civilization, Tikal is now enveloped by the jungle, where it stands as a testament to a lost world. The grandeur of Tikal is overwhelming. The ancient pyramids rise majestically above the jungle canopy, and the air is filled with the sounds of wildlife and the distant calls of exotic birds. Yet, amidst this natural beauty, a sense of foreboding pervades the sight. The stone carvings and reliefs are both beautiful and haunting. They depict scenes of rituals and deities that seem to watch over the ruins with a timeless gaze. The deeper I explored, the more I felt a connection to the ancient people who once inhabited this place. As night fell, strange rhythmic noises began to emanate from the jungle. The familiar sounds of the forest took on a more sinister tone, and I could sense an oppressive presence. The spirits of the ancient Mayans seemed to be watching from the shadows, their presence palpable and unsettling. Tikal left me with a profound sense of both awe and unease. The ancient ruins stand as a reminder of a civilization whose mysteries remain unsolved and whose spirits may still linger in the jungle. Part 6. The Mysterious Ruins of Chichen Itza, Mexico. Our next destination is Chichen Itza, another remarkable Mayan city known for its pyramid and astronomical significance. However, Chichen Itza is also rumored to be haunted by the spirits of its ancient inhabitants. Exploring Chichen Itza, the grandeur of the pyramid is undeniable. The massive structure casts long, foreboding shadows as the sun sets. The sense of history and the weight of the past are palpable as I walked among the ancient ruins. The ball court, with its imposing stone walls and ancient carvings, was particularly unsettling. The echoes of the past seemed to reverberate through the stones, and I could almost hear the distant cries of players and the chants of the crowd during their ritualistic games. As night approached, I experienced sudden, inexplicable chills, and shadowy figures seemed to dart across the structures. The feeling of being watched was intense, and the air grew heavier with each passing moment. The spirits of the Mayans seemed to be lingering, their presence a haunting reminder of the ancient rituals performed here. Chichen Itza is a place where the ancient past and the present intersect in unsettling ways. The spirits of the Mayans seem to linger, their presence a chilling reminder of the civilization's enigmatic history. Part 7. The Forsaken Island of Poveglia, Italy. Next, we visit Poveglia Island, located in the Venetian lagoon. Known as one of the most haunted places in the world, Poveglia has a dark history as a quarantine station and asylum, making it a place of despair and suffering. Exploring Poveglia, the desolate beauty of the island was both captivating and terrifying. The ruins of the asylum and hospital were overtaken by nature, and a deep sense of despair pervaded the air. The walls of the building seemed to hold the echoes of countless tortured souls. The abandoned medical equipment and decaying walls created an atmosphere of oppressive dread. Every creak of the floorboards and gust of wind seemed to amplify the island's tragic past. The isolation of the island added to the sense of foreboding. During my exploration, I encountered sudden, unexplained noises and ghostly apparitions. Shadowy figures seemed to flit in and out of sight, and the air grew colder with each step. The sense of isolation and being watched was profound. Poveglia Island is a place where the shadows of the past linger long after the horrors have ceased. The spirits of its tragic history seem to haunt every corner, their presence a chilling reminder of the island's dark past. Part 8. The Haunted Ruins of Pompeii, Italy. Our final destination is Pompeii, the ancient Roman city frozen in time by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. The city's sudden demise has given rise to numerous ghost stories and paranormal legends. As I wandered through Pompeii, the feeling of time standing still was both fascinating and eerie. The streets and buildings were preserved in a moment of catastrophic disaster, and the silence of the ruins was profound. The artifacts and bodies preserved in ash gave a haunting glimpse into the lives of the city's inhabitants. The air was thick with an almost tangible sense of dread and sorrow, as if the spirits of those who perished were still trapped in the ruins. Throughout my exploration, I heard faint ghostly footsteps and felt an oppressive presence. The feeling of being watched intensified, and the air grew colder as I approached the more tragic areas of the city. Pompeii is a city where the past is eternally preserved, and its tragic end continues to haunt the ruins. The spirits of its inhabitants seem to linger, their presence a poignant reminder of the city's sudden and catastrophic end. Outro. As we conclude our exploration of these cursed and forbidden places, I hope these stories have given you a glimpse into the darkness that lingers in our world. Each site holds its own secrets and supernatural presence, waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to seek them out. If you enjoyed these chilling tales, be sure to like this video and subscribe to Dr. Scary Tales for more spine-tingling adventures. Until next time, may your dreams be peaceful, and may you never encounter the shadows that lurk in these forbidden places.